Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome here to Crisler Arena, where the Michigan women's basketball team will be taking on the Oakland Golden Grizzlies. I'm Kendall Spencer. Joining me as my color commentator today is Matthew Peal. Matthew, how you doing?
Doing very well today. Always a great day to be here at the Crisler Center, and I'm ready for some women's basketball.
Michigan Wolverines coming into this game 2-1 on the season. They have picked up 2 home wins in back-to-back succession against Central Michigan and Lehigh. Their one loss coming against, just a little team called South Carolina, who may or may not happen to be the reigning national champions. And that was a close game, so people are very excited, us included, to see what this women's basketball team is going to do this year. Coming into this game, again, they won their last one by pretty sizable margins. Matthew, what did the Wolverines, give us a little recap of that one, and what did they do well?
Absolutely. I think you got a team that had a couple people leave last season. Of course, you have Evans gone, you have Falia gone, and what is this team going to look like was the big question coming into the season. You got some big players coming in. You got the return of the quad squad. You got Brown, you got Hobbs, Camp Schrader, Crockett, and, of course, you got the freshman class, and they are absolutely on fire. Olsen, Holloway, and Swords really going to make a big impact today, and that's what they've been doing in these last couple games, especially the game against Central Michigan. You had some huge numbers, a lot of the players in double figures, and it was a very, very impressive performance.
Absolutely. This offense it's early again, but definitely high-powered. We're able to keep up with South Carolina through pretty much 4 periods, but they did start to fade a little bit at the end. Going into this one, what do you think the Wolverines, obviously coming off 2 big wins, but what do you think they could work on, just something to keep an eye out?
Most definitely. I think especially with the team that's got so many freshmen playing such a massive role on this team, just learning to work together and learning to play basketball under Kim Barnes-Arico, learning to play with the team members that have been here for a while, and really making a difference together. I think that's just going to be a learning experience, and it's going to come with time, and they're going to be able to gel together. So this is a huge opportunity for them to do that.
And then last but not least, I like to ask this question in every sport I do. Maybe I'm just a creature of habit. Coming into this one, do you have any impact players for Wolverines, Oakland if you want to, but especially for the Wolverines, who really you want to see have a day today?
Absolutely. I think there's one person that I'm looking at, and that's number 12, Silas Swords. She has been absolutely on fire this season, part of that freshman recruit class, and she's had 2 games with 20-plus points and has been Big Ten Freshman of the Week. Super impressive, especially for only being a couple weeks into the season. But on the other side, on the Oakland Golden Grizzlies, I'm definitely looking at Skorupski. She has been an impact player this season and has made a huge difference, scoring 16 points per game this season, and that's going to make a big difference for the Golden Grizzlies. So I'm definitely keeping an eye on Swords and Skorupski.
Swords also, plays like a vet, and maybe it's because she spent this summer representing Canada at the Olympics. Big things from her already, and once again, like you mentioned, this is her 4th game. Quick trip down the lineup for Oakland: Maddie Skorupski, Danny Grimm, Macy Smith, Kylie Buckley, and Serenity Roberts-Adams. For your Michigan Wolverines, Olivia Olsen, Mila Holloway, Jordan Hobbs, Greta Kampschrader, and Silas Swords. We'll kick things off here. Wolverines win the tip. Jordan Hobbs finds Kampschrader. And Silas Swords in for Olsen. Olsen crossed the paint for Kampschrader. She puts a shot up. Just a bit too much on it, no good. Oakland collects the rebound and will take it down the other way. Around the outside, Grimm has it. Trying to find an open man. Pass inside for Roberts-Adams. Tries to dribble around Swords and put it up, and she does. Giving Oakland an early 2-0 lead here. Long pass around the arc. Olivia Olsen puts up 3. Rings around and in. Rebound grabbed by Roberts-Adams. Pass in again for Roberts-Adams. This time Holloway is there to break it up. It'll be out of bounds off Holloway. Oakland's ball.
Michigan's had a little bit of trouble so far with shooting, but they've had some good looks and just looking to drop one soon.
Inbounds finds Grimm. Hands it off to Skorupski, back to Grimm. Long three-point shot for Kylie Buckley is good.
Deep shot, super impressive look there from Buckley. The transfer from Niagara University.
Wolverines ball, they'll inbound it. Holloway's pass for Hobbs was tipped a little bit, but Hobbs is still able to collect it. Trying to work around her defender, and that'll be a foul. That'll be on Kylie Buckley. Holloway for Hobbs. Hobbs back to Holloway. She'll drive inside, decide to go back to Hobbs for the three-point look. It's getting bounced off the rim and out. Good attempt by Olivia Olson there to keep the ball in bounds, but just was a bit too far out ahead of her. Wolverines again. No points on that possession, about 2 minutes into this one. A lot of movement around the three-point arc, trying to find inside for Roberts-Adams again, or another three-point look. So it's going to be Skorupski that drives, a little mid-range jumper, no good, but the rebound is grabbed by Serenity Roberts-Adams. She'll get it 3 times in a row before it's finally ripped out of her hands by Sila Swords. Looks like she's going to drive it all the way down herself. Find Cam Schrader under the net, pass back out for Hobbs. Cam Schrader, Holloway again outside the three-point line. Cam Schrader thinks about it, but has one in her face. Silas Swords puts it up off the back of the rim, no good. This time for Mila Holloway, and she nails it.
Michigan was finally able to get a 3 to drop. That was their 4th attempt, and the first one made. First 3 points on the board for Michigan Wolverines.
Wolverines playing pretty aggressively outside the arc. Skorupski gonna try and drive it in. Once again, was looking for Roberts-Adams, but that pass was picked off by Swords, who passes ahead for Olsen. She looks cross court for Hobbs, who puts up a little jumper and in.
A little bit of momentum building for the Wolverines, just something they really needed to get going. 6.5 minutes left in the first quarter of this matchup.
Little mid-range jumper is good for Danny Grimm. Golden Grizzlies really trying to kind of pound that inside look to Roberts-Adams. On the Wolverines side, Olivia Olson puts up a long 3 from the right side of the arc. No good, and on the rebound, there'll be a foul.
I think if you're Oakland right now, this is as good as you could have started. You're up by a couple points, keeping this game nice and close and competitive, and not really giving Michigan too many good looks.
Grimm trying to get past Holloway, puts one up over her, no good, bounces off the rim, collected by Camp Schrader. Pass up for Holloway, up for Olsen, inside the paint. Wide open 3 for Swords is good.
That's the first 3 of the day for Swords, 1 for 2. And Michigan racks their score up to 8 in their first lead of the game, 8-7.
Swords gets her hand in on a pass, but it's collected by Skorupski. Around the arc for Macy Smith. Roberts-Adams tried to set a pick there. As a long pass intended for Kylie Buckley is too high. It'll bounce off her fingers, and Wolverines will get possession of it. Yulia Grabovskaya checks in for the Wolverines. I'm playing her pretty sparingly, but interesting to see what the plan is. Hobbs around the arc for Holloway, tries to fake one. Back to Hobbs, pretty wide open, looking inside for Olsen, who's left alone under the net and puts it up for an easy 2.
What an incredible look there, making sure they were able to find the gaps and move the defense in a way that was advantageous for a 2-pointer.
Bit of trouble there. Macy Smith tries to drive it and throw a shot up. Looks like she was looking for a foul on that one, but none was called. It'll just be out of bounds off the Wolverines as we go into our first media timeout of this one. Our score is 10-7 in favor of Michigan. Very back and forth in this one so far. Both teams have had some good looks and had some not so good ones.
Most definitely. I think you've seen some wonderful effort from both sides, even just over 5 minutes into this game. Robert Adams for the Golden Grizzlies has shown some serious strength and serious perseverance, especially on those offensive rebounds, getting 2 of her own after missing a couple layups. And with 3 massive Michigan players surrounding you, that's some big moves. And then I think on the Michigan end, you've just seen some perseverance. Tough defense from Silas Swords. She's done really well so far, and knocking down that 3, starting to get into a rhythm, is something that's going to be beneficial for the Wolverines.
Michigan looking really to score from all areas, but on the Golden Grizzlies side, they are really trying to pound that look to Robert Adams down low. They had a lot of success, on their first couple tries. Do you think the Wolverines might need to switch things up a little bit defensively, or do you think it won't be a problem and that they've already kind of adjusted to that?
I think they're doing pretty well on defense. Of course, just making sure they're covering the zones well, not leaving any 3s open. Oakland's had some really good looks from 3. They're 1 for 1 right now, and even shooting 50% from the court, which is pretty impressive. I think they'll be able to adjust just fine and get into a good rhythm that's going to be very helpful for them.
Wolverines, like we mentioned, Grabovskaya just checked in. They're not really playing a big right now. She, only getting about, 11 and a half minutes a game is what she's averaging right now. But they've been able to rely, not play a big that way because they're relying on their pretty big forwards, and they're doing a good job of, matching size for size. It'll be interesting to see if that continues, especially, once they get in the Big Ten play, once they start playing, opponents who have a couple, 6'5" centers, if Grabovskaya will start to kind of take on more of a starter role. But for right now, they're pretty content just rolling with 5 forwards. 5 forwards / guards.
And here we are, 4 minutes and 43 seconds left in the first quarter. 10-7, Wolverines lead by 3.
Skorupski inbounds the ball, has to go all the way out for Dupree Herbert. She has Holloway working on her pretty tight. She's in a bit of trouble, and she tries to pass it over the head of Hobbs for Madison Royal Davis, but instead it'll just go out of bounds and be Michigan ball. Great defense there by Mila Holloway. And she'll be the one to get the inbound. Round to Hobbs, to Olsen on the far side. Looking in for Grabovskaya. Her shot falls. Can't put it in, but luckily Swords there for the rebound. That was a great look. Grabovskaya, unfortunately, just couldn't get that first one to land. Bounced off the other side for Swords to take advantage of. Oakland trying to work around the 3-point arc. With Grabovskaya in there, they don't have that down look, the down low option. It'll come out and be a jump ball around the front of the logo.
Michigan's definitely picked up their aggression on defense, just as we mentioned a second ago. That's going to be an adjustment that's going to help them, and I think it's already doing that.
Inbound for Skorupski. Long shot for her, no good. Bounces off the back of the rim and rolls all the way out of bounds to the Michigan bench.
That was a tough look and quite a heave there from Skorupski, but it was a pretty close one. They're not doing too poorly from beyond the arc.
No, this team likes to shoot a lot of threes. Holloway for Olsen. In for Camp Schrader for a little mid-range jumper, no good. Rebound collected by Royal Davis. And taken the other way. Skorupski trying to work around the three-point arc. Over for Dupree Hebert. No good. Rebound collected by the Wolverines. Amila Holloway's taking it all the way down. She's going to drive all the way herself and put it up for two. No shot, however. Is they're going to call that a charge on Mila Holloway. And I, at fear of sounding like a homer, never mind, that was not on Holloway. That was on Grabowskaia, they're going to say. Because I was about to say I do not see how Mila Holloway had a charge on that one, but no, it was on Grabowskaia on the floor, and so Oakland will regroup on offense. Smith driving under the basket, looking out for Grimm, but there was too much on it. She couldn't manage to get the shot off afterwards. Over for Liana Baxter, who drains the three, bringing Oakland back within two. Holloway for three. It's good.
And what a response. Baxter hits a three. Just a couple seconds later, Michigan's able to knock one down, and that's just what they needed to get them back on track here.
Danny Grimm trying to work around Brooke Q. Daniels, who's checked into this one. She runs into a wall of Daniels and Cam Schrader, but over to Smith for a air ball from three. And that'll roll out of bounds and belong to the Wolverines now. Just under 2 minutes to go in this first quarter. Holloway brings it up for Hobbs. Pass in back for Hobbs. Three-point shot, no good from Cam Schrader, but Hobbs is there to get the rebound and put it back up. 17-10 is our score. Bad pass by Oakland, and it's going to be Cam Schrader and Baxter, I think, rolling around on the floor for it. It's going to be Michigan possession after the jump. Golden Grizzlies, looking a little frantic. What's the problem? I mean, obviously Wolverines just kind of broke off a couple plays, but they're making easy mistakes now. Pass inside for Cam Schrader. She puts it up for two and one.
Michigan's really got something going now, up 9 points, 19-10, and especially with this and one attempt from Camp Schrader, this is an opportunity to put him up into double digits.
And it's good. 20-10 with 1 minute and 20 to go. Wolverines starting to press a little bit. Silas Swords up in Grimm's face. Grimm's managed to get it over half court. Inside for Buckley. Buckley picks up her dribble. Has to try and get it out for Grimm. Dangerous pass, but Grimm collects it. Over for a little mid-range jumper for Royal Davis. And that's good. It's going to be a traveling violation on the Wolverines. I believe that was on Brooke Q. Daniels. Again, a little light press going on here. Mostly just Silas Swords picking up Grimm over half court. Grimm has to pass out for Buckley. Buckley tries to float it in for Roberts-Adams, but she'll travel. Hobbs has it at the logo. Over from Macy Brown, back to Hobbs. Trying to get Swords an open look. They'll almost get it. Pass was just a little too long. That time looking for Brooke Q. Daniels, knocked out of bounds by Oakland.
Got about a 7-second difference from the shot clock and the clock, meaning that Oakland will have another chance.
Inbound attempts goes a little awry, collected by Swords. There's long shot, no good. Oakland gets the rebound. They've got about 3 seconds to get something off here, and it's going to be Maddie Skorupski launching one, no good. And I'll bring an end to our first quarter, 20-10 in favor of the Michigan Wolverines after 10.
What a game we got so far. 20 for Michigan, 12 for the Golden Grizzlies. Definitely seen some good things from both sides. I think you got a really aggressive defense, especially after that media timeout break from the Wolverines. You got Holloway and Swords really putting the pressure on the Oakland offense. But on the Oakland side, I'm really liking some of the chances that they're taking, especially from three. You got some range shots, you got some threes, and they've been doing a really, really good job at knocking them down.
No, absolutely. I mean, it's definitely been back and forth. Wolverines originally were down 5-0 to start this one. Oakland came out hot, but they've just been able to battle back. And even if, maybe, not to say that these games, that Oakland is not a good team, but these are not the games that, they're necessarily worried about. But there's been maybe some concerns about the Wolverines not pulling away as quickly as you feel like they should be for a team of this caliber. But they have always, once it matters, they start hitting those shots. They are incredibly good so far in extremely clutch scenarios. And it might look close, but I have a feeling we might be going into the second half with a much bigger point differential on the board.
Most definitely. I think if you're Michigan, you're probably going to want to be up around 20 going into the half. Got another 10 minutes of play, and the second quarter coming up real soon. But as you mentioned, it was kind of a slow start for Michigan, and I think a lot of that was just unlucky, and maybe they hadn't gotten into a rhythm yet. They had missed their first three-point attempts, which is really difficult, and coming from three different players, this isn't necessarily something you would always see, but they were some good looks, and of course, sometimes it's just going to take a minute to get something going.
May have also just been forcing the shot a bit too much, trying to match, look for look, and trying to force the three a little bit. Once they kind of pulled away from that, going back to those mid-rangers and looking, inside on the post, things sorted themselves out pretty quickly for the Wolverines. But we'll have a little dance break. Gonna give a shout out. This is so silly. It was outrage dance. I'm gonna give a shout out to the Widlacks, who one of them was one of my suite mates freshman year, who were both in that dance group. Just thought I'd give them a little shout out. As we get things started back up here, got 10 more minutes to go in this first half. Oakland will inbound the ball. Skorupski gets it into Grimm, who again has Swords playing her really tightly. For Buckley and for Roberts-Adams down low. Shot no good, but she gets her own rebound, knocked out of her hands and collected by Kampschrader. Kampschrader up to Brown, to Hobbs. Back to Brown, around the arc for Brooke Q. Daniels for Swords. Swords going to drive inside. Yeah, and I was going to say maybe traveled there, and she did. That'll be a turnover. They'll give it to Oakland. And not really pressing, just Swords picking up Grimm the second she gets that ball. Grimm for Roberts-Adams all the way around. That was intended for Buckley, but it just goes through the fingers. It'll be a Michigan ball.
And that's a tough pass, especially with Michigan's height. When you got Jordan Hobbs on the court jumping up and down, you're going to have to pass that ball pretty high, and overpass ball is going to happen sometimes.
Holloway over to Hobbs, who had some pressure coming in from Royal Davis. She almost got knocked over. Grabovskaya got it inside, tried to pass it to Swords, but it's tipped out of bounds. Off the hand of a Golden Grizzly. The Wolverines will keep it. Holloway going to inbound the ball. Hobbs coming. Three-point shot is good.
And that'll be Hobbs' first 3 of the day, 1 for 2 now, and made 3 of her 4 shots.
Pressure on Royal Davis from Hobbs. She stumbles a little bit, but recovers, pass it off to Skorupski. There's going to be a foul called on the floor. It's an offensive foul. It was against Jordan Hobbs, committed by Serenity Roberts-Adams. Wolverine ball. Holloway looking for Olsen outside the arc. Back in for Holloway. For Graboskaya, puts it up, no good. Both teams try to come down with it, but they're going to say that one off of Royal Davis. We've seen them look for Graboskaya down low, but she hasn't just been able to put those in yet. Holloway inbounds for Hobbs. Back in for Graboskaya. Has Roberts-Adams working on it pretty hard. Can pass back out to Hobbs. Hobbs out for Holloway. Thinks about the three-point. Comes in for a shot from the free throw line instead. That hits every part of the rim but doesn't go in. Rebounded by the Golden Grizzlies. Long 3 for Macy Smith. No good. Bounces off the front of the rim and collected by Hobbs. Hobbs up for Holloway. Takes it all the way herself. No good. Rebound collected by Graboskaya, who can't manage to put it up again. There's going to be a foul called on Roberts-Adams.
Roberts-Adams been doing a great job on the defense, especially using her height. She's the tallest on the team at 6'3". But of course, a foul is going to come sometimes.
Graboskaya's first shot, no good. Bounces off the back of the rim. Second won't fall. 23-12 is still our score. As Grimm takes it back up, trying to get around a pesky Swords. Pass for Buckley. Buckley runs into Graboskaya. Wide open 3 for Baxter. Bounces off the side of the rim, no good. Taken up by the Wolverines. Holloway behind the back pass for Swords. Swords looking across the three-point line for Olsen. Takes it in herself. Bounces off the front of the rim, but put back up by Swords. And of course she's fouled on that one with an opportunity for a three-point play. Swords free throw attempt is good. 26-12. 7 minutes to go in the second quarter. Bit more of a full court press there, but the Golden Grizzlies managed to break it, and Skorupski tried to put a shot up, I think, from backwards over her head, but it doesn't go, and it'll turn the ball over.
Bit of an interesting backwards hook shot you saw there. Oakland has not scored yet in this quarter. 3 minutes in, 7 left until the halftime break. Michigan with 26, Oakland with 12.
Passing around, finds Olsen for a mid-range jumper. About even with the net. 28-12, and that'll bring about an Oakland timeout. 6:57 to go in that second period and in the first half.
I think we're seeing some good things, especially from the quarter break on both sides. I think that Oakland's done pretty well with their defense. Of course, you're seeing some big things from Roberts-Adams and has racked up a foul, but no big deal. That's going to happen every now and then. Michigan's been really aggressive. When they get the ball moving around really quickly, they're able to make things happen, especially when they're able to knock it around outside of the three-point line. That's when they've had some big plays.
No, I've definitely something I've noticed about this Wolverines team is they are quick. And not just, in like they can run fast quick, but in quick and they will get the ball from one person to another before you have time to react. And we've seen them take advantage of it. There have been a couple shots that Swords and Hobbs have taken that they have been wide open. Like the kind of open you should not be in a collegiate basketball game.
That is absolutely true. Michigan is now 4 for 10 from the 3. Oakland is 2 for 7, so they've hit 2 threes on the day. Michigan shooting at 46%, Oakland at 36. And again, Oakland hasn't yet scored since the quarter break. They sit at 12 points with 3 fouls. Michigan at 28 and no fouls yet in this quarter. What an exciting game we got and a beautiful day here in Ann Arbor. Thank you very much for tuning in to WCBN Sports and supporting student radio.
Still in this Oakland timeout. Coming up on a lot of games for the Wolverines, but also Thanksgiving. Students will be going home for break. We'll still bring you pretty much every Michigan game over the next 2 weeks, but I will be going home on Thursday. It's fine. I will be back for a game that I think has been more exciting the past 3 years I've been at this school than this year. That is the Michigan-Ohio State game. But let's not be sad about something when we have a great team in front of us right now. Oakland has the ball. They'll inbound it again. Tougher press there. Buckley faces some opposition from Hobbs. He'll try and pass it around. This time for Smith, going to drive down low. Shot blocked by Hobbs. He'll go out of bounds off the Wolverines.
14 left on the shot clock for the Golden Grizzlies. See if they can make something happen.
Inbounded by Skorupski to Smith. Finds Dupree Hebert on the outside. Back for Buckley. Buckley tries to put something up from an awkward angle. No good. Collected by Holloway. He's driving. Looks for Swords on the outside. He's going to almost take it herself. Hobbs. Holloway had the three-point look, didn't take it. Pass around back for Swords. Going to bring it up out towards the logo. Holloway, cross-court pass for Hobbs. Back to Holloway for 3. No good. Wolverines get the rebound, however. Silas Swords tries to go back up with it. No good. Just not enough on it. Rebound collected by Baxter and handed off to Dupree Hebert. Skorupski to Buckley for 3. No good. Bounces off the back of the rim. Still a scoreless second quarter for the Golden Grizzlies as Swords takes a tumble and turns the ball over. Smith trying to get around her defender. Finds Baxter down low. No good. Wolverine got a hand on that. Silas Swords collects it. Hobbs for 3. No good.
Hobbs has missed both of her last three-point attempts. Isn't able to get something going. 2 decent looks. She had some space out there, but just having some trouble today.
Nothing too worrisome yet. Something to keep an eye on. That foul is going to be on number 12 for Oakland, Macy Smith. It'll stay Wolverine ball. Silas Swords comes out to inbound it. A lot of pressure there, but managed to get it in for Olsen. Olsen, little floater over her defender, no good. This time, foul will be on Michigan's 12, Silas Swords. who will check out for Brooke Q. Daniels. Who will also pick up Swords' responsibility of picking up Grimm.
Just about halfway through the second quarter now, 4 minutes and 50 seconds remaining.
Grimm trying to work around Daniels. She'll fall over. Collected by Baxter, whose shot attempt was no good, blocked by Hobbs. Puts it back up and won't fall again. This time picked up by Cam Schrader. In for Q Daniels, cross the paint for Allie Van Timmeren for 2.
That's her first pair of points today, 1 for 1, shooting 100% as her first attempt today.
Royal Davis for Skorupski. Pass knocked wildly out of midair, out of bounds off the Wolverines. Serenity Roberts Adams checks in for Liana Baxter. Grimm three-pointer. It's good. Finally gets her team on the board here.
What a look there.
In the second quarter, Olsen will take one herself. No good. But Brooke Q. Daniels is there to collect the rebound and put it up for the potential three-point play.
Seems that every single time that Oakland has shot and made a three, Michigan has run it down the court as quickly as they could and attempted a three. They've been successful a couple times and unsuccessful a couple times, but that strength with the offensive rebound is really doing Michigan some wonders.
The foul was on Skorupski. It won't fall, and there'll be a lane violation. Oakland ball.
Five fouls now for Oakland in this quarter, and that puts Michigan in the bonus till the half.
Looking inside for Roberts Adams, was picked off by Van Timmeren. But then lost it again. Roberts Adams was on the ground. The foul was on Hobbs somehow. That was a bit of a confusing sequence. Van Timmeren out. Gravoskaya in. And we will mop the floor real quick. That is sponsored. The mop is sponsored. The underneath the basket is sponsored, and the man is also sponsored as he is in a shirt.
Yes,
but we're not
indeed.
sponsored, so I don't have to say the brand. Dupree Hebert inbounding the ball. Finds Roberts Adams. Hands it back, tries to hand it back off to Grimm. No good, picked off by Brooke Q. Daniels. Tamila Holloway takes it almost all the way herself. No good. That foul's on Brooke Q. Daniels.
A little bit of a tough look there for Michigan, trying to maybe force something that wasn't really there. Ball goes back to Oakland. You got just over 3.5 minutes left in this quarter. 15-32, Michigan leads.
Grimm trying to get past both Daniels and Hobbs now. Finds Roberts Adams at the top of the three-point line. Handed back off to Grimm. Trying to drive to the basket. And she'll travel.
These fouls and violations really getting Oakland in a little bit of trouble and not giving them many opportunities, as they've only scored 3 points off of one shot this quarter.
Hobbs to Holloway trying to find a streaking Daniels down low. No good. Picked off by the Grizzlies, Golden Grizzlies. Long three by Dupree Hebert. Bounces off the back of the rim and rebounded by Jordan Hobbs. I think that's going to be over the back. I think. Hobbs collected it. There was a whistle. May have just been for the timeout. Once again, confusing sequence, but Michigan will take a timeout with 2:42 remaining in this first half. Up 32-15.
Most definitely, and as the teams take a timeout, we got our sponsored mops and mop men making sure this floor is squeaky clean. They do such a good job here of just making sure that Crisler is well taken care of. The event team staff, super friendly, and especially all the people that do everything behind the scenes. It takes a lot to put together a big event like this.
Absolutely. A decent crowd for a Sunday, for an NFL Sunday at noon in non-conference play. Hobbs inbounds to Holloway. Holloway looking for Camp Schrader on the near side of the arc. And that's 3-second violation against the Wolverines. It'll be Oakland basketball. Much more of a low-scoring affair here in the second quarter. That bounces off the shoe of Grimm and picked up by Hobbs, who's going to take it all the way herself and put it up for an easy 2. Wolverines now have 19 points off of turnovers in just the first half. Royal Davis. Dupree Hebert in for Roberts Adams. There's another 3-second violation, this time on Oakland.
We've seen a lot of violations so far in this game. A lot of traveling, a lot of 3-second violations. And this has been something that's just making the possession go back and forth between the two teams. Really interesting to see.
Some of it has been pretty good plays. Some of it's just been a little sloppy as Hobbs finds Cam Schrader, finds Q Daniels underneath. Her shot's tipped, but collected by Cam Schrader. Tossed back out for Holloway, back to Hobbs. For Cam Schrader, back to Holloway. Drive to the basket, put it up. No good. Rebound collected this time by Royal Davis. Grimm trying to get past Holloway. Pass cross for Buckley. No good. There'll be a travel call.
And what do you know? Yet another violation.
It's 14 turnovers for Oakland. Hobbs. Pass intended for Holloway, easily picked off that time by Royal Davis, but there's some miscommunication in trying to pass it to Buckley, and it'll go out of bounds off Oakland. It'd be Michigan basketball. Lucky break, as that was read exceptionally well by Royal Davis, but they weren't able to convert on the opportunity. Cam Schrader, cross-court pass for Hobbs, back into Cam Schrader, in for Grabowskaya, who can't put it in. Let's say that went off a Golden Grizzly. Be Michigan ball with 43 seconds left in this first half.
So now with 20 seconds on the shot clock for Michigan, just under 45 seconds left, Oakland's going to get another great look. Michigan will probably get another look after that, looking at the last shot of this half.
Little talk with the ref there. Not sure what that was about, but Holloway in for Grabowskaya, hands it back to Holloway. Hobbs on the outside for 3. No good, bounces off and in, but collected by Brooke Q Daniels. Back to Hobbs, gonna drive this time to put it up, and it won't fall. Grabowskaya can't get it back in either. She'll get the rebound. 3 Grizzlies trying to wrest it away from her. There'll be a foul on Buckley. Her second. Wolverines are in the bonus, so it'll be 2 shots for Gravovskaya, who's yet to score in this one. And her first one will fall for her first point in this game, putting the Wolverines up by 20. Second, no good. Rebound collected by Oakland. Facing some pressure. Need to get it over half court. There's no shot clock. They can take all the time in the world if they want to. Elon will put up a quick 2, though. Picked off by Royal Davis. Luckily can't convert off it. Rebound collected by Jordan Hobbs. Over to Holloway. Q Daniels puts it up. Her last-ditch attempt from inside is no good. Bounces off the rim, and it'll bring us to the end of that second quarter and first half with a score of 35-17 in favor of the Michigan Wolverines.
Michigan up 18 points now. Didn't really get there the way that I would have expected. I would have expected maybe a bit of a run to start going and them to get up towards higher 40s, lower 50s by the end of this half, but they haven't been able to do that. They've just been able to shut a lot down on the Oakland side, and Oakland's been pretty unlucky with some of the violations.
Absolutely, definitely been kind of a turnover-heavy game for Oakland. They've got 15 in that first half. Wolverines with 8. Most importantly, though, is that the Golden Grizzlies only have 3 points off turnovers, whereas the Wolverines have 20. And capitalizing on that has been killing the Oakland Golden Grizzlies.
Absolutely, and just as mentioned before, when Michigan's able to run up the court really quickly and find those gaps, especially when some of Oakland's solid defenders, Baxter and Roberts-Adams, are not at that end of the court yet, you're going to get some really good looks, and that's just what they've done, especially from Camp Schrader, from Hobbs, and that's been something I've really liked from the Michigan side. But I think something they can improve is definitely minimizing those violations as well. Of course, a lot coming from the Oakland side, but that's going to be something Michigan's want to do too, as that's taking the ball away from them, giving it into the hands of Oakland, and giving them an opportunity to bounce right back.
Absolutely. We're going to step away for this halftime break. We will see you in about 12 to 13 minutes. Don't go anywhere, but if you do, at least be back for the second half. Welcome back, everybody, here to the second half at Crisler Arena. If you went anywhere, I hope you're back. If not, you've got about a minute and a half to tune back in before we start up here. 35-17 is our score after 20 minutes of play, and well, maybe not exactly the point differential you'd be expecting. Nothing really to worry about.
Absolutely. I think we've seen some really good action in the first half. Definitely a lower score, as you mentioned. Maybe was expecting Michigan to run away, but this is kind of what we've seen against Lehigh a couple of games ago. Michigan was relatively close with them in the first half and then absolutely ran away in the second half, making a big difference. So I think we could definitely see something like that today, especially after they get a rhythm going. But Oakland's done a good job of keeping in this game. Done a great job on defense, just as we had mentioned, and done a great job at taking advantage of some of those far out but open looks.
No, Oakland's done a great job of keeping themselves in it. On the Wolverine side, who did you really like in that first half? You know, who stood out to you the most?
I think on defense, I would say Holloway and Swords were really playing aggressively, and those are the two people I would say that stuck out the most to me. At least for points, Hobbs has made a big difference in this game. Even though she's only 1 for 4 from 3, she is 4 for 8 on the day and has racked up some points for the Wolverines. So big difference from Hobbs, from Holloway, and from Swords.
Absolutely. It will be interesting to see if this follows the pattern or if Oakland's able to stay neck and neck with the Michigan Wolverines. But we've got 20 more minutes of basketball to play, which means we've probably got about another hour of coverage for you, depending on how quickly this thing goes. It'll be Skorupski, Roberts, Adams, Grimm, Smith, and Buckley for Oakland. Swords, Hobbs, Holloway, Cam Schrader, and Olsen back with our starting lineups, at least for the Wolverines. They'll kick things off by inbounding it. Olsen gets it into Hobbs. Hobbs back out for Cam Schrader. Across the three-point arc for Holloway, goes back to Cam Schrader. Thinks about it, doesn't go. Olsen tries to drive in. It gets knocked out of her hand zone, is picked up by Skorupski. Passes it to Buckley, who just loses control of it. Holloway was able to knock it around a little bit, but it'll go out of bounds on Holloway. But again, a fast break attempt for the Oakland Grizzlies, Golden Grizzlies, just messed up by some bad communication. Smith hits the deck for some reason. Wolverines inbound it, or Golden Grizzlies inbound it. Wolverines get it. Long three-point attempt from Cam Schrader, no good. Rebound picked up by Swords, and she'll put it in with a little hook shot there from right under the net.
That's the aggression she's done great with in the first half, getting that offensive rebound, finish in the bucket. First points of the second half puts Michigan up 20.
Long pass intended for Skorupski. Too long. It'll go out of bounds. Hobbs for Swords. In for Cam Schrader. On the far right side for Olsen. Back to the left side for Holloway. Swords for three. No good. Bounces off the near side of the rim. Picked up by Oakland. Grimm takes it down. Skorupski trying to get open under the net. Throws one up there, doesn't hit any part of the rim, and lands in the hands of Holloway. He'll take it all the way down herself. Can't connect on the shot, but Hobbs gets the rebound and puts it up.
That's another incredible offensive rebound from the Michigan side, and we've seen 15 on the day so far, forcing a timeout for the Golden Grizzlies. And this is probably not what you wanted to see if you're the Golden Grizzlies. Michigan scores 4 right away despite 2 missed three-point attempts.
No, definitely coming out to a hot start for the Wolverines. Like we mentioned, they've had a couple blowout games in their past 2, but they didn't necessarily start as blowouts. It really came to a head in the 3rd and 4th quarters, and it seems like they're trying to do that again pretty early on here as Oakland just got a little lost.
Absolutely. What are some adjustments that you think are going to be necessary from the Oakland side to stay in this game and to keep the score relatively close?
Shoot it yourself. I mean, there's been like 2 or 3 instances we've seen where they've had a fast break, they've tried to pass it off, and they just get completely confused, or there's a miscommunication, or the pass is bad. And the same thing, like just trying to force shots that aren't there. I think they're trying to really kind of force the 3 ball a little bit because they know they're down by a lot and it's just going to continue to grow. And so they're trying to look to get as many points back in single plays as they possibly can. They need to slow down. And I don't mean like slow down, like be sloppy and, you know, take forever. But I mean, get back within yourself and like take a breath. Sometimes when you're trying to play, like again, we've mentioned before, Wolverines are a very up-tempo team. They play fast, they play quick. You know, they get the ball down and they've scored before you even have a chance to get half of your defense over half court. But even sometimes they make mistakes where they get too fast and they're just, you know, making stupid passes, or they're, you know, trying to get the ball down and they're messing up with their dribbles. So it's playing fast but not playing, or playing quick but not playing fast. You want to, you know, have speed, be able to get points in quick succession, but you don't want to get so fast that you get jittery and that you start, you know, passing the ball before your brain has time to catch up with who you're passing it to.
Most definitely. I like that differentiation between, like, quick and frantic, and I think they've been playing frantically. 17 turnovers is quite a few so far, at least just in about 22 minutes of play. We're 2 minutes into the 3rd quarter, Michigan with 39, and the Golden Grizzlies with 17.
Grimm hands it off to Skorupski. Skorupski to Smith at the logo. She has Olsen on her. Back to Skorupski. In for Grimm, puts it up for 2.
That's Grimm's 7th point for the day. 3 for 4.
Hobbs passes for Olsen down low. Cross court for Camp Schrader. Can't get it the first time, gets her own rebound. Can't get it the second time, but there's a foul called. That's on Maddie Skorupski. Greta Camp Schrader will shoot 2. First one is good. Second is good as well, and someone hits the ground hard. I think that's Hobbs. No call, though. Grimm has it at the logo. Pass out for Skorupski. Just kind of trying to get someone open around the 3-point arc. Smith in for Roberts Adams. And they'll call a charge. It was against Camp Schrader. They'll go back the other way as what seemed like maybe the most promising opportunity for the Golden Grizzlies on that drive won't come to fruition. Swords has it, looking inside for Hobbs. Quick little pass to a streaking Camp Schrader, and oh boy, do they make it look easy.
That's right. When you eliminate the option for the 3, you create these gaps right in the paint. Michigan's able to drive inside and capitalize on that.
Quick 3 for Skorupski. Wolverine try and take it the other way, but shot won't fall. Another 3 for Skorupski, this time no good. wide rebound. Heavy ricochet on that, collected by the Wolverines. In for Holloway, tries to take it herself, no good. No one's there to collect it in white, and therefore it'll be rebounded by Oakland. Smith trying to get around Hobbs. Again, like we mentioned earlier, Wolverines don't need a set to play a lot of minutes for a center when they have forwards that are 6'3", or guards that are 6'3". Very tall team.
Absolutely. We got some substitutions now from the Oakland side. Number 1, Dupree Herbert coming into this game, 5'8" sophomore. You also got Royal Davis and Baxter coming in.
Skorupski looking under the net for Smith. Smith gonna try and dribble in a complete circle. Skorupski, little hook shot, no good, just too much on it. Rebounded by Olsen, who was Royal Davis with some pressure. Wolverines get it down. Swords had it in the paint, but passes back out to Holloway. Down for Hobbs, long pass for Olsen. I'm gonna say she traveled, however. It'll go the other way. Brooke Q. Daniels will sub in for Mila Holloway.
And Daniels actually played at Oakland for 2022, 2023, 2024, so she's been there a little bit, now playing the team that she has known so well. Definitely something, little insider information for the Wolverines there.
Q. Daniels is all over Dupree Hebert. She'll have to pass it off to Baxter. Baxter tries to streak down low, but Wolverines were ready for it. Skorupski makes Hobbs miss and able to put it back up. Nice little move there for 2. Wolverines take it down the other way. There's a foul called. It's going to be a foul. That foul's on Madison Royal Davis. There's going to be a quick little timeout. It's the under 5 media timeout. 43-24 is our score. 4:54 remaining. And again, still pretty close. Well, you know, almost 20-point lead, but again, maybe not what they've been expecting, considering that Oakland just recently played our friends over in East Lansing, and they kind of put the beat down on them a little bit.
That's absolutely right. That was 107-42 in the first game of the season for Oakland. And, of course, Michigan State being one of Michigan's biggest competitors in the women's basketball game. You're wondering, what is Michigan going to look like this early in the season against somebody that Michigan State had just played? Michigan's playing here at Crisler. Michigan State played over at the Breslin Center, so both had a home court advantage, and Michigan State was able to really pull away. And that's what Michigan's hoping to do in this game, not just to put some big numbers on the board, but to really prove to their biggest competitors that they're here, and they're here to win.
There's a little game going on there right now.
Always got to love the entertainment here at Michigan athletic events. It's always so wonderful to watch, just some of the fans get involved. The devoted fans that are here Sunday afternoon watching their women's basketball team put on a show at Crisler.
I've always told myself before I graduate I want to do not a game here, but one of the on-ice games at Yost. Haven't done it yet, though, and clock is ticking. So it remains to be seen whether I will ever man up and, you know, do it.
Absolutely. I've actually had the opportunity to participate in a few of those competitions, and they're quite fun. Favorite being the sled race. Literally just get a partner and run sleds down the ice.
The problem is if I slipped and fell, you'd never see me again. Inbound to Hobbs, and she'll put it up immediately for 2. Doing a little full court press there. Oakland manages to get it over half court. Skorupski hands it off to Smith. Smith to Royal Davis. Long three-pointer for Smith, no good. Rebound collected by Royal Davis. Tries to put it back up, but Cam Schrader's got both hands on that one. That'll be a foul.
That's Michigan's second of this quarter. Oakland with 3. Just about 4 minutes left in the third quarter. So neither team is really too close to being in the bonus, but Oakland's going to be going to the free throw line for the first set of free throws this game.
First free throw attempt, no good. And the second will bounce in and out. 0 for 2. Wolverines get the ball going the other way. Swords, long pass to Brooke Hugh Daniels. Hobbs puts it up for 3, and it's good.
What a great look from Hobbs there. Takes advantage of that opportunity and sinks one, something the Wolverines really wanted.
Statement shot from Hobbs to put the Wolverines up double. Had some pressure on Dupree Hebert, but she managed to get it out. Oakland's got to regroup and put something up. Baxter for 3, and she nails it. Swords picks up her dribble at the logo. Pass to Olsen. Brooke Hugh Daniels in for Grabovskaya. Olsen has it for 3. No good. Bounces off the back of the rim. Dupree Hebert has a wide open shot after a fast break, and she'll convert for 2. Wolverines' lead is dropped below 20 again. 3:10 remaining in this third quarter. In for Grabovskaya. She'll pass to a streaking Daniels for 2. Smith dribbling outside the three-point line. Dupree Hebert tries to pass it in for Baxter, no good. But Smith finds it and nails a little mid-range jumper there. Swords looking for Hobbs. Royal Davis tried to come up and intercept it, but because Hobbs was still in the way, that's going to be a foul.
Got some substitutions for the Oakland Golden Grizzlies. Number 3, Danny Grimm in this game, the senior transfer from Mercyhurst, and Buckley, the sophomore transfer from Niagara University.
Hobbs will inbound it. Gets it to Holloway at the logo. Back to Hobbs. Hobbs' long pass intended for Grabovskaya, but she can't corral it. Dupree Hebert taking it up the far side. Passing it around the arc. Smith trying to drive to the basket. Leaves Buckley wide open, but it's an air ball, so it didn't matter.
Oakland shooting 1 for 3 from beyond the three-point line. Michigan only at 28% though, 5 for 18. So relatively, Oakland's shooting better from beyond the three-point line.
Hobbs for Holloway, still outside the arc. In for Hobbs, a little quick pass for Grabovskaya, tries to put it up but can't convert, can't get the rebound either, but Brooke Q. Daniels will corral it. Puts it up, no good, gets her own rebound, passes back out to Holloway. Long pass for Brown, back all the way across for Brooke Q. Daniels. Quick to Holloway, up to Hobbs at the top of the key. Back in for Grabovskaya, who this time converts it for her first made field goal of the game. Baxter trying to work around Grabowskaya and manages to make her girl miss. Well, step for two. Long three for Holloway, and it's nothing but net. Long three this time in response from Smith, but it'll bounce in and out. Wolverines taking it up the other way. Foul called. That's going to be on Macy Smith. So again, the Wolverines are in the bonus. It'll be Macy Brown shooting, little Macy on Macy violence. First free throw is no good. Bounces off the rim. But her second falls.
Michigan now 6 for 11 from the free throw line, just over 50%.
30 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Skorupski up to Buckley at the logo. Buckley working around Cam Schrader. Little desperation shot falls. 18 seconds left. Cam Schrader back to Holloway. Tries to work through three different girls, and there's a foul called. Some outrage there. That's going to be against Buckley, her third personal foul. Once again, in the bonus will be 2 shots for Mila Holloway. Her first is good. 57-35. 5.6 seconds on the clock. Her second is perfect as well. Oakland's got 5 seconds to make something happen. Buckley's got a lot of pressure on her from Cam Schrader. Elam trying to drive, but doesn't manage to get a shot off in time. 58-35. Wolverines up 23 after the third quarter.
Point differential in this quarter was only 5 points. Michigan up 17-18 at the half, and now being up by 23. Haven't really pulled away yet. Oakland scored 5 of their last 7, discluding the little scramble at the end where the shot wasn't off. But I think on the Michigan end, you got a couple standout performances. Holloway today, shooting only 30%, 3 for 10, but she's 3 for 4 from 3, shooting 75% from beyond the three-point line. That is wild and impressive at the same time, so big performance from Holloway.
Stepping up big when it matters. I have a little t-shirt toss. It's always been my dream to catch a t-shirt on air. I have not.
Gonna need some really strong cheerleaders to get the t-shirts up to the press area.
My freshman year, because they're doing the women's early rounds at home sites in March Madness, we were on the court side, and Charlie Brigham, WCBN alum, caught a basketball. Like, it bounced over and he caught it, and you could see it on TV. Like, you could, like, on the ESPN broadcast, you could see us at the bottom, like our little heads, and Charlie catching the basketball. And the best part is I am directly above, like, a hockey trade, and, like, literally my head is directly above the word Blues. My St. Louis Blues. I'm like, oh, it's perfect.
Wow. Player of the game isn't even on the team.
No, Charlie Brigham. He was on the practice team, though. He was on the women's practice squad, so he kind of was on the team.
Well, there you have it then. We got 3/4 of the 4 in this game finished and behind us. Michigan with 58, Oakland with 35. 10 minutes left to play. Resetting the fouls. Michigan 3 timeouts, Oakland with 2. And here we go.
We'll trickle back onto the floor for the final 10. Blazing through this one. It's not even been an hour and a half yet. Grimm hands it off to Buckley. Buckley trying to find Skorupski down low. We'll go out of bounds and be Michigan ball. As I don't think anyone got a piece of that one. The pass, just a bit too much on that pass. Holloway lobs it over the head of 3 Oakland defenders for Cam Schrader. Hands it back off to Brooke Q. Daniels. Makes Holloway get all the way on up to try and get that one, but she'll step out of bounds. Just a bit too much on it. It'll be Oakland ball. Inbounded by Elam. Grimm will take it up. Buckley for Skorupski, takes it from the key, no good. Corralled by Daniels. Passed off to Brown. Brown to Holloway. Back cross for Brown, she'll put up for 3, and it's good.
That's Brown's first 3-point attempt of the day, and it is good.
And the band just yelled, "Don't let Macy Brown get hot." As Grimm hits the deck, be a jump ball. I think it was Brown in there fighting for it. She might be a little banged up. Nope, she's good. Cam Schrader inbounding, talking to the ref first.
Always love those good, awkward conversations with the referees, right?
Talking about movies. Wouldn't it just be funny if they were just chatting?
Hey, you never know.
Cam Schrader into Brown. Brown all the way across the arc for Swords. Thinks about it, decides against it. Olsen gets it in for Brown. Quick little pass off to Van Timmeren. Oh no, it's just poetry in motion.
What a good look there from Timmerman. And that is the grad transfer, played at Boston College, 6'2", using all of her height.
Oakland will call a 30-second timeout after first minute and 40 seconds. Only 2 points away from a 28-point deficit for Coach Jeff Tungate's team.
That's right. Jeff Tungate, this is his 12th season at Oakland. He has had over 100 career wins with them, so definitely led the program to some great days. And when he was coming in, the team was basically rebuilding. And that was a similar situation to when Kim Barnes-Arico came into Michigan. They were rebuilding, they were having some trouble. And this is also Kim Barnes-Arico's 12th season for the Wolverines. So both coaches have been around about the same amount of time. Both coaches have taken a team from struggling and losing seasons to very successful. So definitely a big matchup here between them two coaches. And I think we have seen just some great performances over those 12 years.
Absolutely. It's been a good time to be a Michigan women's basketball fan. Maybe more so than it's been to be a men's basketball fan in the same time period. At least since I've been here, and I'm a senior now. As scary as that sounds. So my 4 years, it's definitely been a much better experience watching the women's team than has been the men's.
That is definitely understandable, but
everything I hear says they're going to be, if not good, very interesting this year.
Absolutely.
So, coming off a win against TCU, you will not hear me on the headset for a men's basketball game until December, and then I'll be doing 2 games in like 3 days, and then I'll disappear again until next semester.
That TCU game was super impressive. I had the opportunity to be here for that game, and was a little skeptical going into that season. Really, it's probably going to take a couple years for this team to rebuild, for something good to happen. But I was absolutely shocked. Sold-out crowd. You got energy from the bench, from the Maze Rage. Everybody here was really into it. And
someone I said we're spoiled and we have to have 2 good programs at all times. So I think everyone's kind of putting their eggs in the basketball basket right now. As Oakland inbounds it, Baxter puts a little floater up for a quick 2. Olsen almost loses control of that, but hangs on. Once again, a sweet little passing set there for the Wolverines, and Van Timmeren completes it with a bucket. Grimm is completely trapped. Just drops it on Brown's foot to let it roll out of bounds and give herself a break. Smith inbounds it to Skorupski. She tries to drive but has Swords in the way. Passes for Buckley. Buckley, they're going to call a foul, but after Buckley took maybe 4 steps. It's going to be against Camp Schrader, her 2nd foul. Inbounded to Grimm for a mid-range jumper, no good. Collected by Olsen. Stops to pass it to Brown. Down low for Swords. Pass was tipped a little bit, otherwise she would have had a wide open look. Jump ball is going to go in Oakland's favor. 7:30 to go in this one. Smith has it knocked out of her hands by Olsen, but it'll go out of bounds and they'll just start it again.
A lot of pokeaways in the last couple minutes.
Inbounded to Grimm. Pass to Skorupski, back to Grimm. Trying to get past Brown. Drives all the way down and can't connect on the shot. Olsen gets the rebound, and it's going to be a jump that goes in Michigan's favor. Seemed like maybe there could have been a foul call there. Olsen hit the deck pretty hard, but instead it'll just be a jump ball. Brown picks up her dribble too quickly, and Royal Davis is there to pick it off and put up 2.
Phenomenal steal there by the senior transfer from Butler. The 5'11" guard making a big difference today.
Olsen wide open underneath. Can't convert the first time, but doesn't make that mistake again. She'll put it up. Skorupski trying to get around Swords. Bad pass is taken away by Silas Swords. Gets fast break and 2 of her own.
That puts Michigan up by 30 now, 69-39. Michigan on pace to hit 80 points in this game.
Oakland shot no good. Wolverines get it, come down the other way. Olivia Olsen tries to pass it in for Timmeren. Too many hands there. Silas Swords wide open 3. No good. Bounces off the front of the rim. Corralled by Royal Davis. This time picked off by Olsen. She'll slip trying to keep it in bounds, and unfortunately it's picked up by Grimm.
That was some good effort there for sure.
Smith trying to work around Hobbs. Skorupski drive to the basket, puts up 2, no good, but she'll shoot 2. Could be against Brown.
Oakland's done a really good job of controlling their fouls in this fourth quarter. I think that was probably a big adjustment that was made during a couple of those timeouts that they had taken this half. Don't want to get their players into foul trouble, don't want to give Michigan too many more free throw opportunities. Oakland with 0 fouls in the first 5 minutes of this quarter. Michigan now with 2.
First free throw, no good.
A little intimidated by the band, I guess.
So, second one will fall. 69-40. Swords in for Grabovskaya, puts it up. Elam tried to drive to the net. Instead, it was picked off. Olsen passes ahead to Swords. Not only converts, but gets fouled on the attempt. Another chance for a 3-point play.
Swords has just been playing very, very well. As we had mentioned, she has 2 games this season out of the 3 with 20-plus points, scoring in double figures in every single game. And now she's got 14 on the day, looking for 15 with this free throw here.
She'll drain it. Oakland bring it down the other way. Under 5 minutes to go. For Roberts-Adams, it's it off to Skorupski. Bit of confusion trying to set a pick there, but she'll step back to take the 3. No good. Roberts-Adams can't corral it. Someone got a hand in there to knock it forward, and Olivia Olsen comes away with it. She'll take it from the free throw line, rings in and out, but rebound corralled by Grabovskaya, who it'll circle the rim before she gets her own rebound and puts it back up.
You get Holloway wide open from 3 there, but not turning around, obviously. Did something good for you when you're that tall. You're able to just knock it right in.
The points starting to fall a bit for the Wolverines here. Skorupski drives the net. 3-point attempt from Grimm, no good. Rebound collected by Olsen. Elam gets a hand in there, but it's going to go the other way. They're going to say that's a foul, not a jump ball.
And I think this is the point we're starting to see what we've been talking about for a while. Michigan's starting to run away. They are on a 7-0 run in the last minute and a half, 11-1 in the last 3 minutes, and Oakland has not scored in the past 3 minutes.
Hobbs, the Swords, Holloway for 3. She'll sink it. And everybody's feeling good for the Wolverines right now. 39-point lead. As Leah Bullard has checked into this game, passes it to Dupree Hebert. Trying to pass in for Roberts-Adams. She can't corral it. Grabovskaya tried to knock it back in, but stepped out of bounds. And they'll sub pretty much everybody out. It's now Holloway, Camp Schrader, Brown, Q Daniels, and then Ayanna Dunbar gets her first appearance in this one with 3:23 to go. Dunbar working on Roberts-Adams. Gets some help from Brooke Q Daniels after she hands it off to Dupree Hebert. Puts a shot up, no good. Camp Schrader comes away with it. Hands it off to Brown for Brooke Q Daniels. Tries to pass it in for Dunbar. Instead, it ricochets incredibly hard off a Oakland shoe, but it'll stay Michigan ball. Cam Schrader inbounds to Holloway. To Brown, drives the net. For 2 points. Bullard has it now on the Oakland side. She'll lose control of it. Holloway comes away with it. She's got to try and pass it off. That's a bit of a comedy of errors situation there, and it's going to be over and back. So almost a great steal, but then everyone took a little bit of a tumble. It'll stay Oakland possession. The Wolverines up 41. Dupree Hebert drives the net. Her shot will fall. Holloway in for Dunbar, puts it up. Shot was no good, but the foul gives her a chance to make up for it. Dunbar's first free throw is good. And her second will fall as well.
And Dunbar is part of this freshman class at Michigan, which is absolutely on fire, the best in recruiting history for the University of Michigan Wolverines women's basketball team.
Maddie Rendall passes over to Bullard. Hands it up to Dupree Hebert. 3-point attempt for Elam is way too much on it. No good. Holloway takes it up. She's gonna drive all the way to the basket herself. Again, the Wolverines have more than doubled Oakland's point total. Yeah, there's going to be a charge on Bullard there. That was pretty obvious, kind of drove an elbow right in her defender.
About 1:45 left in this game, so just under 2 minutes of play. Neither team is in the bonus yet. Golden Grizzlies with 4 fouls, and Michigan's going to take the ball up the court.
Holloway. Brooke Q. Daniels back inside for Van Timmeren, who's left all alone down low. Elam for Bullard. For Abney. Abney can't manage to get past Dunbar. Has passed it down low for Rendall, who doesn't even hit the net. She does hit the head of Macy Brown. I'm not joking. It bounced off Macy Brown's head because it did not hit any part of the basket. It'll come the other way. It's going to be a foul. On Rendall against Macy Brown. Macy Brown's first free throw bounces in and out. No good. Sinks the second. Golden Grizzlies trying to lessen the deficit a little bit here. Exactly a minute remaining. Dupree Hebert takes it herself, bounces off the back of the rim, and there's a charge.
Oakland's just ran into some trouble lately, only hitting one of their last 7 shots. They've had 4 turnovers in the last 4.5 minutes, and that's just putting everything on Michigan's side.
Holloway thinks about driving, travels instead. Was looking back for Macy Brown, instead took one too many steps and turned the ball over. "42 total turnovers in this game. And a little bit of a party. Abney trying to get around Macy Brown. Rendall puts it up for three and hits nothing. I'll let the band say it if you can't hear them.
Quite an enthusiastic chant there. Michigan's going to have about 5-second difference from the shot clock.
Holloway. And Brooke Q. Daniels around to Brown. Back to Brooke Q. Daniels. Drives to the net herself, puts it up, can't get it. Rebound is collected by Daniels and Rendall, and they're going to say it's Oakland ball. 11.3 seconds left.
So this will make Oakland's last possession of the game, just 10 seconds left.
Abney just set a pick. Bullard going to get not even the last shot. As a buzzer sounds without the ball in the air, but sounds a Michigan dominant victory, 88-42 over the Oakland Golden Grizzlies. Little slow start, maybe slow through the half, but it was nothing but a point fest for the Wolverines, with everybody getting involved in that fourth quarter. Matthew, what did you like from the Wolverines today?
Absolutely. I think I really liked the steady and controlled pull away in this fourth quarter. You didn't really see that point where they just turned on the burners and boom, they're just scoring and scoring and scoring and scoring. But this was just a super slow chipping away at this Oakland team. And Oakland had done a really good job of adjusting and making sure that three option wasn't open. Michigan realized that they weren't knocking down many threes at all, and they were finding some gaps under the hoop. So they adjusted to that adjustment, and they were making those twos really quickly, running up the court, explosive plays. That was what I really liked from the Michigan side, and from the Oakland side as well, some good adjustments.
Absolutely. Really, really impressive performance from the Wolverines all around. But if you had to pick one player to be your MVP today, who would you pick?
That is a really good question, as we saw some
really
amazing performances. I'm going to have to go with Holloway for sure, especially for a team that had struggled from beyond the three line today. You got Holloway hitting 80%, 4 for 5, 16 points on the day, and definitely was racking up some big numbers across the board with rebounds and everything else. I think that was the outstanding performance of the day.
That's a solid choice, because she would have been my pick too. Matthew, I've had a great time broadcasting this entire Michigan women's basketball game with you. Normally, we only get about a half, so this was a very unique experience for the both of us. It's been fun broadcasting a Michigan dominant victory. They'll be back home on the 20th, facing Long Island University. Once again, final score 88-42, Michigan over Oakland. For Matthew Peal, I'm Kendall Spencer, and I won't leave you as we always do because it's not nighttime, but I'll leave you as we occasionally do with a good afternoon, and go blue.
Go blue.